Hello everyone, it's me again. Now we are going to start to play with the cytoscape. So who is interested to do this practical section, let's say, of the metabolic networks? Just send me email and I will provide you some data that you can play here. Okay. But anyway, if you have installed the cytoscape, you can also start playing with these networks here. So all of these are free, you can use. So it's networks already published. And what we are going to do is I'm gonna show you the basic things of the cytoscape, and then we are going to do a live, and I will give you some tips on how to improve the network analysis. Okay, so I asked you guys to install these four apps here. If you haven't done this, so watch the last class about how to install the cytoscape. So when you have this installed, you come here in the Metscape, you come in Build Network, and here you have two options: pathway-based and correlation-based. So if you don't know what is pathway-based and correlation-based, you better watch the theoretical part of the metabolic network class, because I have explained mainly about correlation-based network, what is we're going to do now. So when you click correlation-based networks, it is gonna be open. It's gonna open this section here, but you can change also here. So pathway-based and correlation-based. Okay. So the first thing to do in a correlation-based network. So first, what is correlation-based network? It's a network where the nodes are the metabolites and the connection between the nodes are a correlation. Okay, so Pearson correlation, Spearman correlation, whatever. It's a correlation analysis that you have performed before. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. There's a platform specific to do the correlations, and the output file is ready to go to the cytoscape. So in our case, I'm going to provide you this this file, which is some of this one here. I'm going to take just one. So what I did here, I click select and I select the file. Okay, so what is this file? This file contains all the nodes of the network and now the correlation between the nodes. Okay, that I have made in another software. I can show you later. So the first thing that when you click to import your data, the first thing the software is gonna ask you is this. For example, here we have in yellow, for example, in my file, I have fructose, and the software has recognized fructose and is giving me here the ID of KEGG. KEGG, it's a platform for metabolic networks, metabolic pathways actually. So everything that is yellow, the software has recognized as a metabolite of this platform here. Okay, so for example, in this case, malato is in Portuguese. Okay, it's a mistake. So malato is never gonna be recognized. I have to write in English. So malate would be recognized. Okay, so there are many red metabolites here. Why they are red? Because they are not writing as the KEGG platform. Okay, so you have to. One thing that you can do to have everything yellow is take note of this metabolite, for example, 2-oxyglutarate. what is the identification, or how is this writing keg? For example, could be alpha-acetylglutarate, maybe it's the same metabolite. And then go to your file, change there, and then you have do this for all the metabolites here, and then you have everything yellow. Okay, but anyway, for us here, this is not important. Okay, so I'm gonna click OK. Okay, so it worked. When you click OK, it's gonna appear this layout here. So this is the identification of my file, and here you have two things very important. Based on what is the edges based on. So you click here, you have pcor, pval, or adjunct val, pval. So these three are columns of the file that I have. Okay, so pcor is the pval. Oh, sorry, pcor is the correlation between the metabolites, and p-value is that the p-value of this correlation. Okay, so what you have to, if I choose p-core here, so look here, I have negative correlations from 0 to -1 and positive correlations from 0 to 1. And then I can play here. So for example, if I want very strong correlations, I can, for example, restrict this network to build only from 0.85 to 1. And if I don't want negative correlations, for example, I just click here and I don't have. Okay, and then I'm gonna build the network. So there we go. Here is the network. So there are very few correlations with 0.85. Just to show you how this will increase, if I click on from 0 to 1, positive correlation, then I click build network again. You see? So then now I have every person, every positive person correlation. And here I can come in the Metscape and ask to show the legend. So what is the legend of this network? I have here, so I can increase, I can decrease the network, for example, to focus in some place or other. So what I have here, null compound, unknown compound, the correlation strength, for example, this is a very high correlation. Everything here is positive, right? So that's why it's ready. So if I had something negative, I would have some blue connections here, and the significant based, in this case, doesn't mean significant. No, actually, yes, yeah. The thickness of the arrow, the link, is also telling us about the significance, I mean, the p-value. Okay, so let's create one, for example, 0.5 from one side and 0.5 to another side. Let's build, I'm gonna close this legend. Let's build a new network. So you see, everything depends on the correlation that you choose, right? Here I have some correlations, negative correlations in blue, for example here, right, between galactonol and lactulose, sorry. So this is a negative correlation. So this is a network that I'm building in all these metabolites. So you can see here, sorry, I didn't mention this So here are the metabolites that doesn't have any connection. Okay, so for example, pyruvate at this level of correlation is not connected to any other metabolite. Okay, so let's make one different network. For example, if I change here from pcore to pval, you see that it's going to change here. So if I click build network from 0 to 1, it's going to have all the links and all the nodes. So the network is like this. So it didn't bring any information because you are just taking every connection. Of course, you can see here so some of the connections that are has a higher or lower p-value. But if you want to make a network with, let's say, a p-value of 0.005, from 0.00 to 0.005, which is 5% of probability. So you can click here, and then you have this kind of network. So here, these connections here means that every connection here, every link between metabolites, it's a significant correlation. Okay, so here I'm restricting the network to show only p-values lower than 0.05. I'm gonna change a little bit more to see 0.2. I'm gonna build network. You're gonna see that much more links. See? So much more links between the nodes, right? So this is, if you increase here and then you have more links, again, because you are how to say, you're increasing the p-value, so you have more metabolites being connected to each other at this very high p-value. Okay, so let's just reduce here for 0.05. So this, I'm gonna build the network only for the significant correlation. So I have these connections between the significant correlations between the metabolites. Here in the group definition file, you can also choose, for example, you can separate here the metabolites into sugars, amino acids, and organic acids, and so on, just by creating a new file and upload the file here. You just click here, select, and you can find the group definition file here. Okay, what is the advantage of doing this? Your network is going to show, you can separate, for example, the sugars from the amino acids, from the organic acids by color or by the size of the node and so on. You can also do this manually here, but yeah, here if you have a very big network, this is not a very big network, so this is, I guess, is around 50 metabolites. Okay, so 55. I have here the number of nodes, 55, and the number of ads, of course, is gonna change based on what I'm including here, the significance of the p-value, for example. So once you have created a network, so the network here is ready. You can publish it like this, but you can improve this layout. So what I recommend you to do is to come here and try these different layouts. Okay, so this is the circle layout here. You can try, for example, this is a nice thing also. So this is gonna be on circle, but here I can choose, for example, which condition I want this network to be, which layout I want to show. So you can choose here, for example, prefuse force directed layout. Let's put here correlation p-value. So you have you see you change it a lot, the network. Let's put the prefers, this one I guess is cycle, no, degree cycle layout. Yeah, degree cycle layout. So you can play here for many many ways that you want. So one of the apps that I suggested to install is this, because they provide these layouts here, which is in this case is not very different, but some of these, for example, this organic layout is one that I'm commonly using to show the correlation networks. Okay, and another app that we can use here is go to Tools, Network Analyzer, and go to Network Analysis, and then Analyze Network. So you see that you have a lot of parameters, okay, but let's focus on this. So when you click here, the first question that they ask is like, is this network undirected or directed network? If you remember of the class, of the theoretical class, this is undirected, right? Because it's mainly based on metabolic correlation. So you just click OK. So it's gonna open these statistics here. So here is already parameters of the network. For example, this network has a density of 0.121 of 55 nodes. Okay. Connected components, 1. Network diameter. So there are a lot of parameters here that you can choose to include in your work. But also a nice thing here, if you click here and visualize parameters, you can do something like that. For example, here map node size to, for example, let's choose degree. I'm always doing like this. For example, the lower, the bigger are the nodes, more connections they have. So the lower, less connections, the size of the node is gonna be smaller. And you can also, for example, here you have you can choose these for colors. For example, if I choose, I can choose many other colors, or here green, yellow, whatever, based on the degree of the nodes. And here down I have something to change about the edge, which is the edge, is the link. Okay, just to give you one example, I'm gonna put here Pearson correlation. Let's put the correlation PCOR. So it's gonna, what the software is gonna do is like put one color for positive correlation and one color for negative correlation. So the network is gonna change a lot. You're gonna see. So this is the new network. It's pretty difficult to see, but you can come here on style and change a lot of things. So network, I'm just gonna change the background here first. So I'm gonna have so let's make a crazy thing here. So we have a black background. So the edge I can also change. I can also change the node. Let's change the node for I don't know, a yellow node like this. And remember that the edge we choose to show the color of the edge means Pearson correlation, which is here. Okay, so what you have to do if you want to change is come here, click on this continuous mapping for a column, core PCOR, you see here, because these colors we choose previously, but I can double click here And then by clicking here, I can change the color. So let's make a very crazy network here. So the negative correlation is gonna be in this color, and the positive correlation is gonna be, let's take a very green like this. And I can also choose the middle position. I'm gonna put in close to 0. That's fine. And I can choose the color also, everything that is close to 0. Okay, and then I click OK. So the colors has changed a little bit, but these colors didn't work because they are quite similar. Let's change this color here for some orange or something like that. That is a bit different from the other. Yeah, maybe this is gonna work. Yeah, not that. So let's change this then. So this I'm gonna put pink. Good. Now we can see. Anyway, you can choose which color you want. Okay. So this is, I'm doing some crazy stuff here, but the best you can do is like do the white background, which is gonna work better. Do like a heat map. For example, here I prefer to put on blue. You can put on blue here, white in the middle, and here you can have red. Okay, and then to not mix with the color of the nodes, you can choose some color of the nodes here. So then you have everything split. We have blue for the negative correlation, red for the positive correlation, and the size of the nodes here, for example, myo-inositol and sucrose, they are highly connected. You see the hydroscopic also. And let's take one metabolite that is not really connected. So maltitol here has only two connections. You see that the size of the node is very small, right? And he is very big. So when you see here, you can already just have a look here. You have an idea about which nodes here are candidates to be hubs, right? Because the size of the node is telling how many connections this node has. So you can change, for example, the label of the color of the informations here. You can also increase the size to make everything. So this was too much. You see? I forgot one thing. So that's now I know why this is not really showing off. Here, transparency. You can come here, so you put in the maximum 250. So everything gets much more highlighted. Okay. You also have transparency for the nodes here. Okay. So this is. And then you can come here and also try to choose different layouts again. So degree, I'm just take some of the most my favorite organic layout. I like this one. Another one that I like is this one. So attribute circle layout. So then you have all of these options. I'm gonna choose degree, and you are going to see that the network is now showing the most connected nodes are here, and in this direction you have the nodes that are less connected. You see, so this one is also a nice thing to do. So here you have the style, here you have the networks that you have already created. Everything that we do, for example, we have changed the Pearson correlation for 0.85. You see the network is here. So we also did only for positive, the network is here. You see, 0.5 negative and positive correlation is here, and this last network is also here. So every network that you create, it's here in this network panel. What else? If you want to come back to that section, for example, you come here for Metscape, and look, the bad thing is, like, if I change here the p-val and ask to build the network, so the network is gonna be at the original style. So I have to do, if I want to come back to that style, I have to do everything again. Okay, maybe there is some way of making your own style, so you are going to build a network as you wish, but I don't know how to do that. Actually, I don't know if it's possible. Okay, so this is the bad thing, that if you change something here, you change the style of the network that have been created. Okay, so so I recommend you to try all of these things here. Okay, and regarding the apps, we are going to, this one we have used here, which is this iFiles layout algorithm provides these layouts here. So you see iFiles here. So this is because of this app, right? And you can also try SciAnimator. So it's pretty easy, not very complicated. For example, let me remove this. If I click here and click in this plus signal, I have already one image that's gonna be included in the video. So I can click here, and then here, and then here. So they are going to create a video of this, and then I click, sorry, I can visualize how it's gonna work. So the video is gonna be like this. It's repeating now. You can change the speed here, for example. And to save, you just click here, so you can choose where you want to save, in which videotape. You can even create animated GIF to share in your WhatsApp group. and then just click OK and save. So this is something that is very easy to do, and actually is very useful for big networks. Okay, so this is a brief introduction about this software. So I hope you can find time to play before our class live. In the live, I'm gonna just take questions and show you some other things. Okay, okay, guys. Thank you for watching. See you.